The ball doesn't lie. The ball is the circle. The circle is infinite. The infinite is lies. Our life is a lie. One letter off. What does it mean to believe? What does it mean to live? What word is in the middle of believe? As you tumble, are you humble? Do you know it all? Can you admit that you don't? Do you care to know? Do you care to grow? Do you want to know what's below? No, no, no. Are you of this world or of this world? Are you the pearl or the swine? Be defined and don't whine. Just shine.
Welcome back. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back, ballers. Welcome back to another late night episode. That seems to be the trend these days. It's the only time I can get content out. Thank you guys for joining. So late in the night on a Friday, you guys could be doing so many other things. The Enthused Dreams already likes the thumbnail. Charlie bit my finger. Yep, that's a big oldie. We're really showing our age over here, aren't we? Nah, we're still young. We still got plenty of time. Thank you guys once again for joining. Happy Friday night, everybody. You guys could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're hanging out with me. It means a lot. I apologize for being fashionably late. That does seem to be my trend these days. It's tough to really, gather all the information, put them into a visual friendly type of slide situation for you guys. So appreciate you guys being patient with me. Obviously, if you guys couldn't tell, tonight we're going to talk about the game one of the 2025 World Series. Just to timestamp this is Friday night on October 24th, 2025. Hello, Coffee Girl. Good to see you. The usual suspects as always. You guys are my family through the screen. Hopefully one day I can meet all you guys. It would be awesome. Maybe we can pull that off. But, I'll be honest, and please in the chat, let me know. I've been saying this for a while now that my 11th mini book, right? The first one I wrote, I got way ahead of myself and, did 500 pages, and I thought people would actually care to read that. But since then, I've been doing these mini books for quite a while. So a chance to really plug myself. I have 9 other mini books about all different kinds of things. But my 10th mini book, or my 11th total, will be about Charlie Kirk. And I've been kind of holding off on waiting to see how this World Series is going to play out because of things that I saw even before tonight that was telling me that this World Series has absolutely a lot to do with Charlie Kirk. And that's not to say that I'm the one right here. There are a lot of other narratives that we'll touch on as well in tonight's stream about this particular World Series in general. Don't forget, we're in the year of the snake, a lot of Kobe riddles. LA's looking to go back to back, right? And obviously tonight is Drake's birthday. Happy birthday, Jake. 39th birthday. Toronto gets their 39th postseason win all time, while number 39's on the mound. We'll get to all of that later, but I'm really open to your guys' ideas about kind of a fun title for the Charlie Kirk book. And the first one I liked was Charlie Bit Me, or Ouch Charlie, because just think of the symbolism here. This has got to be one of the first viral YouTube videos that ever came out. But just think about the snake and a snake bite, right? There's so much. I'm not even going to get into it with how it's connected with, what happened back on September 10th of this year. But just think about a snake bite. We're in the year of the snake. And I thought Ouch Charlie or Charlie Bit Me would be a fun wordplay, if you will, for the next title. But I'm very much open to suggestions. So please feel free to share them with me. So we'll dive in. Sure enough of my soapbox there. This is just a screenshot from several days ago. This was with my buddy Tom via Instagram. This was shortly after the World Series matchup was finalized. And I was just pointing out some things to him. And I did touch on this in my stream with my weekly stream with Cody and Rambo back on Tuesday, if not even the week prior, but just talking about, just the color symbolism. Think about how the Blue Jays have the same colors as the United States. They're the only team that does not play or that is not based in the United States. So think of the odds of that, right? But Charlie Kirk, Mr. USA, and it made me even think more about like the news about Justin Trudeau is now apparently, I don't know, macking with Katy Perry these days. And I was like, oh, Trudeau with the Canada themes. And then you got Charlie Kirk. Well, how does Kirk tie in with Perry? Well, George Perry Floyd shares the same birthday as Charlie Kirk. And George Perry Floyd and Charlie Kirk both seem to have met their demise, reportedly, death by neck. Is that fair to say? Right. So anyways, after that, I started diving even further. And I literally told Tom, I said, this is 100% a Charlie Kirk World Series. It's the 121st World Series. Most of you should know this by now, but Blue Jays equals 121. It's the only team in Major League Baseball that equals 121. But think about how 11 times 11 equals 121, and 31, the age of Charlie Kirk's death, is the 11th prime, right? And I pointed out, and I did some research on this because I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about, I know all about the game of baseball. I enjoy watching it sometimes, but I don't know all these players. I can name off, some of the bigger names, but I wanted to make sure and see how many active players are there in Major League Baseball that have the name Kirk, right? And sure enough, Alejandro Kirk is the only active rostered player right now. Obviously, all the other teams aren't playing anymore, but even those teams don't have any active players by the name of Kirk. The only other player I could find was, I don't even remember his name, but he apparently is in the minor leagues now or something. So just think of the odds of that alone, you guys. Alejandro Kirk just so happens to be in the World Series, right? And we're going to get into him in a minute. But then on the other side of the field, or the other dugout, if you will, is Freddie Freeman, who won the World Series MVP last year, hitting that walk-off home run in Game 1, and essentially becoming Kirk Gibson 2.0, right? Back in the day with Kirk Gibson. Go look it up when he was doing his fist pump or whatever I think it was, after hitting his walk-off home run with the Dodgers. And of course, Freddie Freeman, his middle name is Charlie. Shocker. Charles means free man. So technically, Freddie Freeman's name is Freddie Freeman Freeman. I thought that was funny. So let's dive into the numbers. Let's dive into how tonight's game played out. So I know this is a busy slide. I tend to do that sometimes, but I feel it summarizes it very well. So let's just start from the top. The final score of the game was 4-11, right? Well, 4 times 11 is 44. Now that matters because tonight's game was played exactly 44 days after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right? And for those that don't know, 44 is a huge number when it comes to kill execution. Words like firearms, bullets, at large. I put bullets in there twice, my bad. But the list goes on and on and on. I have a page in here. Let's see if I can find it in my Fool's Gold book. Yeah, it's a whole page right here. Look at this. A whole page. All of this right here is all 44s. In other words, mass shooter 44 in Chaldean and in reduction, firearm shooting, military, assault rifle, spiritual, snipers. All of those words are 44, you guys. So, of course, the game ends 4-11. 4 times 11 is 44. It's exactly 44 days after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Got it. Well, what if I told you that tonight's attendance was 44,000 and some change? Really? So let's just keep piling on the 44s, right? And, I'm kind of kicking myself for not putting Charlie Kirk out to hit a home run tonight on the Patreon. I was a little hesitant about it. I just had so many other things I was focused on. But, at the end of the day, it's just making the book I'll be putting out eventually so much better because, of course, Of course, to kick off the Charlie Kirk World Series, you're going to have Alejandro Kirk hit a 2-run homer, right? Now, what really stands out to me here was not only, of course, is he going to homer, but of course, he's going to put the Blue Jays up 11-2. 11-2, huh? Why would 11-2 matter? Quick pop quiz for anybody in the chat right now. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'll give you 30 seconds while I sip my orange squeeze Olipop. I guess we'll take a pause here while you guys think about it. But Enthused Dream says, Charlie Kirk, Mr. USA, in your previous slide makes me think of the rumors that Israel had something to do with this, to do with his demise. Yep, indeed. I'm going to try to stay away from using certain words with regards to that topic for sure. But yeah, I mean, just think of the color symbolism there with their flag and the U.S. flag. I mean, there's just 3 primary colors that keep standing out, right? Blue, red, and white. So, all right, time's up. Everybody failed. Why 11-2? Why was this so important, especially with all the 44s we were just talking about? Once again, 44 days after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Natasha's onto something. Absolutely. Jesuits equals 112. So does Catholicism. So does Judaism, which is the merger of the two. So absolutely. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm going to go way more simple than that. Once again, September 10th, right? The date of Charlie's assassination. Well, September 10th just so happened to be the day leaving 112 days left in the year. So 44 days later, after the date leaving 112 days left in the year, Alejandro Kirk hits a home run and puts the Blue Jays up 11-2. You guys see that? Try and calculate the odds of that, you guys. And then tell me it's still a coincidence, right? So moving past Mr. Alejandro Kirk, the real star of the night, right, is this player by the name of Addison Barger, who hit a grand slam actually right before. Yeah. So in other words, I'm kind of, the timeline's out of order here. Charlie Kirk hit this, his home run right after this grand slam of Addison Barger, who really put the Blue Jays ahead big time. But why does he matter? How does he coincide with the Charlie Kirk riddles that are going on? I'm kind of giving it away right here with Charlie Kirk and his 47 hat, the same hat stacked all over his table during his, his meet and greets or debates or whatever at local campuses. But 47, huge number. 47 is the 15th prime, by the way. Notice that 4 + 11 is 15. So you got that connection as well. But it's really simple, you guys. Addison Barger wears number 47. So Addison Barger hits the grand slam, right? He hits the grand slam wearing number 47, followed by Alejandro Kirk. It's so ridiculous. Alejandro Kirk brings the Blue Jays up 11-2, 44 days after September 10th, the death of Charlie Kirk, which left 112 days left in the year. My God, you guys. So, I mean, that's really all I got with Addison Barger. I mean, just the number he wore alone and the fact that he hit a grand slam, followed by Charlie Kirk's home run. It can't be any more obvious, at least to me, that this was a huge tribute to Charlie Kirk. So next, we're going to segue into just some of the other, revolving themes about all of this. Most people in the in the sports gematria community are pointing this out big time. The Blue Jays did pick up their 39th postseason win all time tonight. And of course, they did it on Drake, Mr. Toronto's 39th birthday, while Trey Yesavage, number 39, was the starting pitcher of the game. It's almost like they were telling you right there. Number 39 on the mound, Drake's 39th birthday. The Blue Jays can get their 39th all-time postseason win all-time in game one. And that's a hard fade. I mean, it's fair enough. Some people are really like, hey, that could be some bait. And we've seen things like that in the past happen. But, because if they stayed on 38, right, essentially they, murder is a big 38 number. 38 is a big number related to murder and death as well. but it just made too much sense. I mean, oftentimes they really make it this simple, you guys. They really do. Yeah, so yeah, Natasha, that's what I was getting at, right? That's why the 112 really stood out to me, was because it just further goes right back to the date that Charlie Kirk was reportedly assassinated. So next, I'm going to segue into some additional slides here that I was also sharing in the Patreon. This is directly from the Patreon, and yeah, talk about busy. All right, so if this hurts your eyes, just you guys can close them and just listen to me for a second. Um, but another reason why I ultimately led with or leaned on the Blue Jays to take this one tonight was because I saw that the Dodgers were 4-0 on the road this year in the playoffs. Okay. And it was a little challenging because LA Dodgers equals 50. So they could have gone 5-0 on the road this postseason to kick off game one of the World Series. But 41 is huge, right? 41 is huge when it comes to LA, which equals 41. Kobe Bryant, which equals 41. He died at age 41, right? All of those things. 41 is the 13th prime number, right? So it got me thinking once again that we're in the year of the snake and the year of helicopter crashes, plane crashes, all kinds of stuff, right? It kind of died off for, pun intended, a couple months down the road. But then sure enough, back on the 5-year anniversary of when the LA Lakers won the championship on Father-Daughter Day in the bubble, the same year that Kobe Bryant and his daughter died, there was a helicopter crash in Huntington Beach in Southern California where Kobe Bryant died and where he was essentially idolized, right? So I measured from that date to tonight's game. It was 13 days. So I was like, whoa, perfect. The Dodgers can drop to 4-1, the 13th prime, exactly 13 days after a helicopter crash in Southern California near Los Angeles, CA, 41. Kobe Bryant, 41, dead at 41. Died with his 13-year-old daughter, 41, the 13th prime. 13 days after this helicopter crash in Southern California, right? Hopefully you guys were able to keep up with that, but that is essentially what this entire slide entailed. This next one, I shared it because I just thought it was a funny observation. There is no ties to Alabama at all. That's not where I'm going with this. And call this a stretch or whatever. This didn't even really like move the needle for me at all. When I was looking, just when I was doing my research, I was starting to look at, okay, like how are the Blue Jays connected to, helicopters, if any, right? And sure enough, I came across this company called Blue Jay Air Crane, and they're located in Alabama. But look at their address: 1201 Highway 20 West in Decatur, Alabama. Well, as we know with numerology, you can slash out that zero, so it's equivalent to 121. Blue Jays 121 is the 121st World Series, right? There were some other articles too I shared in the Patreon, just showing screenshots. Like the Washington Post even put out an article years ago saying that the Blue Jay is nature's helicopter parents. Go look it up. It's out there. So there are connections with the Blue Jays and the helicopter. Let me dig up and see if I still have those slides. I don't know why I would have deleted them. Just give me a quick second. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. So you guys can see, I just got mounds and mounds of slides, so it's hard to keep everything in order. Yeah. If we have time, maybe I can pull it up later, but you guys can take my word for it. Trust me. The other big piece, right? We were talking about Drake. Ever since he got shamed in the Super Bowl, right? There's been articles, and I'm sure you guys saw those Instagram and TikTok videos of drones and stuff flying around his mansion in Toronto. And there was an article, I had a screenshot of it. It was headlines where Drake was saying he's losing sleep because there are helicopters specifically that are flying around his house all the time after that whole, Super Bowl halftime show featuring Kendrick Lamar, who's from LA, right? And now you got Kendrick Lamar's LA team facing Charlie Kirk's Toronto team. Drake's Toronto team. So let me know if I'm going too fast for you guys, but see what happens. I try to find something, and now I lost my slides. Let me take a breather. Hold on. The enthused says back to financial ties. Blue Jay equals 76, Ripple 76. Yep. Can't get away from those either. All right. So yeah, no, so this one was just more of a fun one, really. Blue Jay Air Crane. It's located at 1201. That's funny. Next, we're going to segue to basketball really quick, kind of in closing. Unless there's anything else you guys want to chat about or anything else you guys wanted to share. Usually I like to keep these streams a bit shorter. I just feel like it's more likely people will actually watch it through. But staying on the Charlie Kirk themes, check this out, you guys. Now when we measure from Charlie Kirk's actual birthday, October 14th, right, which is 10/14, right? 1014. Well, what happens when you slash out that zero? What number do you get? 114. Blue Jays win 11-4. You guys see that? Another coinky dink. But check this out, you guys. Look, the 11s just made too much sense for me in this game as well, because Charlie Kirk is heavily connected to King Charles. Think about that. King Charlie, Charlie Kirk. King Charlie, Charlie Kirk. Right? Just the initials alone. But also their birthdays, right? Charlie Kirk with that 10/14 birthday, and then King Charles with that 11/14 birthday. So a lot of 1s and 4s with both of their birthdays. But what we're focusing on right now are the 11s, because once again, Charlie Kirk died at age 31, the 11th prime. And today would have been Charlie Kirk's 11th day of his age. Okay. So, and once again, the Kings are hosting what team? Utah. Oh, got it. King Charles connections with Charlie Kirk, who died in Utah. And with a loss, Utah, the Jazz could drop to 1-1. There's your 11, and the Kings can improve to 1-1. There's your 11. So when we measure from Charlie Kirk's birthday, it would have been his 11th day of his age. And then if you also measure from King Charles's birthday, it's 3 weeks and 1 day. Wow. 3 weeks and 1 day, 31, the 11th prime. And if you just measure from their 2 birthdays together, look at this. From Charlie Kirk's birthday to King Charles's birthday, 31 days. And sure enough, the Kings beat Utah, where Charlie Kirk perished, improving to 1-1, dropping the Jazz to 1-1. So unbelievable. And of course, Decoding with Cody. What's up, brother? I sent you a voice message not too long ago. If you want to jump on and have a chat for a little bit, let me know. I'm open. I know it's getting late for you over there, brother. Because yeah, this was the last slide I had, but I just wanted to leave it open for any other observations and whatnot. But no, I did not see your comment on Alejandro Kirk. What was it? Was it in here? Did I miss it? Sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, Cody, I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. The comment on Alejandro Kirk, but covered a lot of ground, at least just with my findings and stuff. Tonight, 44 days after his death, Alejandro Kirk, this was the big one for me, brings the Jays up 11-2, where Kirk died on the day, leaving 112 days left in the year. Unbelievable. All right, cool. Sounds good, Codes. Yeah, let me get that invite ready here for you. I'm dropping it over to our Discord chat, brother. There it is. You should have it. Enthuse says 11/11/1913 was a devastating Great Lakes storm. A storm is coming. Might need to keep an eyes on 11/11. Yeah, please, yes, absolutely do keep your eyes on 11/11. That was a date I had marked on my calendar for sure. Cody says I'm almost half asleep, so he's maybe got a couple minutes for us, but Yeah, no, I'm dying to see what you also had to add or share about Alejandro Kirk's home run right after the grand slam of number 47. Hey, what's up, Cody? Wake up, wake up.
What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
Not bad. I just got a notification that you were live. I didn't even see your message. I was already half asleep, but
Oh, it's all good.
I was looking. It kind of woke me up a bit as I was watching your video, so I have a bit of energy to talk. But
Yeah, what comment were you talking about?
yeah, I don't know why I don't know why. Maybe can anyone else see that comment? It's weird. It's like the comment.
This one I pinned is the first one I see in the chat from
weird.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because I put it in there, but I don't know if anyone else in the chat sees it.
I'm guessing people do. I mean, I saw all of your other comments. Maybe just that one you were half asleep and you didn't hit enter or something.
Huh. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, Enthuse says no, I didn't see it.
Wait, yeah, it's not in there for some reason. Why?
No.
I can see it's not in there now when I go into, like, when I have on my screen, it's sent, like, but for some reason it's not in this. It didn't go to no one else can see, and I can't see it.
Maybe somebody at the YouTube headquarters right now didn't like what you had to say and just deleted it.
Well, I mean, it's not any like more exposing than what you already did. I mean, it is pretty obvious, but it's no more worse than what you already showed. So I don't know. Well, if you just want to,
what do you got for us?
If you just, I don't know if you got the calculator open or not, or I can pull it up, I guess. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I'll give you the wheel.
I mean, hold on. I got a bit of a mess here. Let me clean something up here.
No problem.
I got everything else open. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, so sharing my screen.
There we are.
Okay. So it's just simple, actually, but pretty obvious.
Yeah. I do remember that. I do remember that now.
What from what? Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that we either touched on that just talking offline or in one of our streams with Rambo, just talking more about this stuff. But doesn't God, what else equals 910? There's another one.
Well, must not have been. I don't think it was me that talked about this because I don't know if I've ever know. I didn't even really know what the guy. I know that I know you told me there was a guy named Kirk, but I didn't know his name, his actual full name. So I just ran the gematria and I was like, oh look, his name equals Charlie Kirk's death date.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect addition. I got to make sure I don't miss that when finishing up my book. I'm going to wait for the World Series to end, and obviously it takes time to finish a project like that because there's always so much more to add. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, Alejandro's full name equals 10-9. And then once again, I don't know if you caught it, Cody, but the main thing that stood out to me about Alejandro Kirk's home run was that he put the Blue Jays up 11-2. So when you talk about the date of his death, 9/10, that's the date leaving 112 days left in the year.
Right.
So how perfect.
Well, here's another little tidbit. If you go from Alejandro Kirk's or if you go from Charlie Kirk's birth to Alejandro Kirk's birth, it's 1849 days. And that's the 43rd square. The reason that's interesting is because assassination does equal 43. So, yeah, I mean, you could say that there could have been something there. It's not like, it's interesting because assassination in the most reduction cipher is 43. So 43 square days between their birth, like assassination.
So to time out really quick, if I'm seeing that right, so if you just go like if you just line up the years, right? So meaning this year's birthday. So in other words, their birthdays are 23 days apart, right?
Right. Yeah. Like Blue Jays. Right.
Like Blue Jays, yeah. Like how the Blue Jays were down 2-3 in their last series and came back and won 4-3. With like what you were just talking about with the 43s.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, wow, of course their birthdays are exactly 23 days apart. Unbelievable, man. That's crazy. Shoot,
So
did I
I
freeze
think,
you?
yeah,
Good?
you dropped out for a second. You dropped out for a second, but you're back.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, how obvious, right?
It blew my mind. I was saying earlier in the stream, not sure when you joined, but man, hindsight's always 2020. I was strongly considering, just because I've touched on this with a few folks, just saying that there's no doubt in my mind this is in some way, this World Series is a tribute to Charlie Kirk. And sure enough, the one player in the entire league with his last name Kirk, it was that simple. And then of course that it really manifested in the game, bringing the team up 11-2.
Well,
So
the final score really got me thinking, because 11-4.
well,
1-1.
I touched on that too, because Charlie Kirk's birthday is 10/14 / out the 0. You got your 114. Excuse me.
Right. Well, I was thinking of that in terms of, like, I heard what you said, and that's probably the main reason. But I think there's probably another reason I was trying to like figure out. But because the 114 is a huge number with well, I've talked about this before with 114, but it's a huge number with the US dollar collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you type in like US dollar collapse or United States dollar, it all equals like 114. Also, that's a LeBron James number, right? But
Yeah.
but the reason that ties in is because that 619, which is King James' real birthday, 619, that's the 114th prime.
I'm so
So
sorry. I saw this 11 that I didn't even touch on screaming at me right here. Of course, the Blue Jays score 11 runs, going right back to Charlie Kirk dead at 31, the 11th prime. I mean, oh my God, dude. I was more focused at the 411, 4 times 11, 44 days after he was killed.
Yeah.
Sorry. I feel like I'm going a million miles an hour.
Don't forget that assassin equals 411.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. In the Jewish cipher, I totally didn't. I'm tired, but had I been more awake, I would have caught that immediately. But I was like, wait, doesn't assassin equal 411? It sure does. So there you go. There's the big missing piece. Assassin equals 411.
Let me pull that up really quick just to
I got it up. If you want, I can pull it up.
I'm right there. So
okay.
Where are we at? I gotta get better with the tabs too. It's hard to keep up. You said so assassin. Yeah, there you go. 411.
And that's big because remember, JFK was shot from 411 Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up on Halloween. Nightmare on Elm Street. I wonder how that would tie. I bet that ties in because with Halloween coming up, and Alejandro is obviously he's from Mexico. Well, Halloween is very connected to Mexico because the next day is the Day of the Dead, which is Dia de los Muertos, or however you say that in Spanish. But yeah, so November 1st is the Day of the Dead, which is that Mexican holiday. So yeah, that Jewish cipher always comes in. So if I could just pick one cipher, they would be that cipher. That cipher is amazing. I love that cipher. It's always perfect, man. It's always dead on with so many things. But I mean, obviously the base 4 are good too. But that's my favorite cipher.
Yeah. I mean, and to that point, that's the reason why these are the 8 ciphers that I focus on, the 4 base, and then I really only go off of these 4: Latin, Jewish, Sumerian, and then the capitals added one that you and I talked about. I had the impression that was the Francis Bacon cipher, but it's kind of more of a spin-off to it. But
yeah, I mean, each cipher has its own importance, but it just the way that cipher works, because the Latin cipher, you're not going to get like matches so easily. That's the point, is that you're not going to get like, oh, murder equals 83, and so does all these other things. You can't really get that there. There's not a lot of stuff that equals 411, but it just so happens that assassin does. So, I mean, and the fact that the score finished 4-11,
Mm-hmm.
and again, that's completely tied because it was 411 Elm Street, which was the JFK thing. So I might look into that because I know it has to be connected to that that JFK thing with that Elm Street.
Do you want to hear something funny, completely unrelated?
Yeah.
So I opened the stream pretty much telling folks and encouraging people to share with me some like title ideas for the Charlie Kirk book. And I titled this stream "Ouch, Charlie." Do you remember that video, right? Back in the day, Charlie bit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most people around our age definitely do. But so originally, I was thinking about like I like the title name "Charlie Bit Me," but some other people liked Charlie Hustle, for example. But dude, look at this, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I already saw it. Yeah, crazy.
I mean, perfect in 3 of the 4 base ciphers, and the middle one's just an anagram of itself.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh my God, man. I almost feel like I have to make it called Charlie Bit Me because I think the play on words is so great because once again, we're in the year of the snake. What do snake do? They bite, right? Being bit by the snake, and it's already getting lost on me about how much Charlie is connected to the snake. Oh yeah, shout out to Joseph Aquaviva. Apparently Erica can't keep the word snake out of her mouth,
Yeah.
How she first met Charlie in the snake of the line, right? All that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I thought you would get a kick out of that. Charlie Bit Me and Charlie Kirk.
I just can't get over. I just noticed too when I'm just looking at that gematria too. Can't get over how Charlie Kirk equals Indianapolis in multiple ciphers.
Yeah.
Because I already found some stuff connecting. It's like every time there's a sporting event now, I'm looking into the connections between the Lions and the Colts just to see if there's more verification. And especially I'm looking into this because this is the World Series, right? And then this is obviously gonna have a connection to the NFL championship.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, today is very perfectly aligned with the Super Bowl and Daniel Jones and the Colts.
Well, and Cody, don't forget what we talked about with Daniel Jones, right? You were telling me about how he's called Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
And in the movie Indiana Jones, what's Indiana Jones's Achilles heel?
Yeah, snakes.
Snakes.
Yep.
I mean, that can't be overlooked.
Yeah, and then the whole story of the snake year. Hold on, the whole story.
And think about that. We're transitioning. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're transitioning from the snake year to the horse year. So
right,
it's like, and then you got, yeah, sorry.
The whole story of the snake year too is that the horse finishes behind the snake in the order because the snakes rides this horse and scares it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's big. Like that's a big part of it. And wait till you know how Rambo mentioned the other night that in Alice in Wonderland there's a whole connection with the lion and the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found out what that really connected to. It's actually pretty crazy, and that's why I'm like, there's probably a good chance we could see a lion versus a horse in this Super Bowl. And it might actually connect to that old movie, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh wow. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
It connects to that movie as well, but it connects to England and Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give an overview, because I'll have a whole decon on this, but the symbol for Scotland is the unicorn, and the symbol for England is the lion. And when they became the United Kingdom under King James, their seal became a combination of the two. So their seal is the unicorn versus the lion. That's the United Kingdom's coat of arms. So it's actually pretty deep. And considering that the whole Charlie Kirk thing was connected to the King of England and Scotland, Charles, it would make a lot of sense that that would be the kind of theme of the Super Bowl. So
I could not agree more. You know, this just kind of hit me too. I really want to shout out Myron. He got game. I was asking him to jump on earlier, but unfortunately he has to work right now, believe it or not. Brilliant mind, dude. He since a lot of, you know, what my content is about, right? It always ties back to sports for me. That's really kind of how I found the work in the first place. But you know, and then obviously I've learned so much from the whole community. But you know, about how biblical it is, right? And right, recently you and I have talked a lot about, you know, LeBron, King James. This all goes back to Myron, right? Where we're like, whoa, he's going to hit that 1566 and that 1611, all in tribute to the King James Bible, right? One thing that he informed me about, and my God, my internet's dragging. Here it is. Are you familiar with, and maybe you can just pull this up on your screen.
Oh,
sorry, you just got rid of it. No worries. Let me share mine. Hold on. Because I do need to look more into this, but since we're talking about it, this could be a lesson for all of us. Are you familiar, or did you know about this? Because I didn't. Did you know that there was a book called the Book of Sports issued by King James the First?
I don't think so.
It's an order issued by King James the First of England for use in land. How do I pronounce that? Lancashire, to resolve a conflict on the subject of Sunday recreations between the Puritans and the gentry, many of whom were Roman Catholics. Permission was given for dancing, archery, leaping, and vaulting, and for, quote, having of May games, Whitsun ales and Morris dances, and the setting up of May poles and other sports there within used, so as the same may be had in due and convenient time without impotent or neglect of divine service. So, I mean, so much more to learn here. I got so many questions.
What's it called again?
It's called Book of Sports. Like if you just looked up King James the First Book of Sports.
Well, it reminds me of the thing they do in Germany with the polls they put up in May at the beginning of the end of April, beginning of May. So that's like Walpurgis night, like, and that's like the Illuminati day too. So I'm wondering if that's what you're talking. Let me try to find this here. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, really quick. Thank you for the reminder, the enthused dreams. Don't forget about the play on words, Charlie horse. It's not even a play on words. It's like a common name, right? For when you get a dead leg, or I always thought if you got like hit in the leg and you're just like, your leg's all messed up, then that's a Charlie horse too. But
now we can't just the fact that, you know, you're mentioning that, like, that's why it also wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being the Broncos in the Super Bowl either. I mean, because
I always loved the Broncos originally because of Rambo's observations about Back to the Future, and the actress has the same birthday as the date of the Super Bowl, and her character goes to San Francisco. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing is, you know, and that's why I said if the Colts already beat the Broncos this year, if they end up playing again in the playoffs, those two teams, I would expect that the Broncos will win. If they don't play each other, I mean, again, the Colts have there's a lot for the Colts too, but again, I would not be surprised if somehow it's the Broncos and not the Colts, but we will see with that one. But I think that the Broncos also make a lot of sense because they have the white horse on their logo, the unicorn on the English coat of arms is white also, so it would make a lot of sense. And this thing with King James, is that where's the Book of Sports? I think you scrolled past it.
Yeah, so this is all from Britannica. Britannica. Book of Sports. And once again, shout out Myron. He's the one that was posting this on his story. He got game.
May games.
Yeah, May games, May polls.
Oh, did he? It says he issued a royal proclamation in 1618, and it was reissued by Charles I in 1633.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so 1618. So he issued this in the year 1618?
Well, it says that this is when he. So, like, I'm trying to find the official date. I'm sure if I just did a quick Google, I mean, let's see. What date was the Book of Sports?
Yeah, mine says it was issued in 1617 originally, but nationally it was issued in 1618.
Mm-hmm.
So they issued this in the 1618 year, the golden ratio. Wow. That's crazy because I'll show you why that's even more crazy, because then it says after that, it says then it was Charles who revised that in the year, what year was it? They said here 1633. It was Charles who revised it.
Waterworks says that 1618 is also the year of the horse, by the way, just FYI.
Really?
Huh. If you want to share your screen again, please, by all means. As we were talking more and stuff, I was like, this is new information to me. The Book of Sports written by King James I. I thought it was a fitting topic to fit in with everything that, I mainly focus on. So,
well, I just thought it was interesting that they specifically that it mentions the year 1618, which is, 1617 is also the 33rd pentagonal number or something like that. So that's a big number as well. But 1618, of course, is the golden ratio, and it's a number I followed a lot. But look at the gematria of King Charles III, and this is big because there's not a lot of gematria of this. There's not a lot of things that has this gematria.
You're not sharing. Oh, there it is. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Oh, jeez, please, dude.
I mean, there's really nothing. Okay, first of all, this is actually really perfect. Check out the gematria, of course. It's 1618, right? But check out the words and letters of this phrase, King Charles III, right? It's 3 words and 14 letters. So it equals 1618, but it also is 3 words and 14 letters, like pi. So this is
also
like
Steph Curry's birthday, who plays in San Francisco.
Yeah. But just the fact that it has a pi, it's 3 words. I'm telling you, another thing that people should be looking at is actually sometimes I know they do pay attention to the actual words and letters, because you're getting the pi here, and you're getting the golden ratio. You're getting phi and pi, and this is, I think that's the key, is that it's both phi and pi with this, and that's, again, there's not many things that equals 1618 in gematria.
Right. Well, and that's why, like, the definition of Kabbalah, right, is it stems around Jewish mysticism, which focuses on how God created the world using what? Letters, numbers, and words, right? Not just letters, but the letters and words are separate, right?
Right.
I mean, they're separate, but they're not. But it's, to your point, important to take a look at that sometimes, of how it adds up to something is crazy. But then when you see how the words are broken out too, that's pretty wild too.
Well, I kind of started doing that more now because of my decode last week, because what happened was I was doing this decode on the Killing Moon, and I realized that they were, the way they did this, the amount of letters and words that makes up the phrase, it actually was like the same. It was like 2 words and 14 letters, and I was talking about the 70 and the 214. So it actually, I can't really explain it without showing you, which I don't have it here, but I just started looking at it now because, like, that video I did kind of proved to me that there's something to that, and that's why I just looked at that and said, wow, look, it's 3 words and 14 letters. Because pi and phi are intimately connected. Pi and phi are the 2 base ways that this reality runs in sacred geometry. That's, pi and phi are the two gods, the 2. Oh, look at that, the Book of Sports 201.
Yeah, I had to show the screen. It's just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, look at that. The Book of Sports also equals 75 in the same cipher as Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. Want to see another one? Which one was it? I just had it. It was in my last presentation. What was it? Rig Sports?
Isn't it Scripted Sports?
Oh, yep. That's what it is. Yep. So Scripted Sports and the Book of Sports. Through 201. I mean, for me, that's just amazing how, like, there was a book of sports written that far back by King James the First, and then how it came out, and of course it coincides so much with like Catholicism and the Sabbath on Sunday and all of that, right? So I really want to learn more about, because I want to say, from what I saw briefly there on Britannica, that had something to do with you see here. Oh yeah, when Charles was overthrown during the English Civil Wars, Puritan prohibitions against sports and games on the Sabbath again prevailed until Charles II was restored in 1660. So in other words, there's been a lot of backlash from certain groups, if you will, about any sort of sports or games being played on the Sabbath. Right. And I don't know if I don't think that's what the whole purpose of this book is, but that's why I'm really interested. I want to see if I can get my hands on like a copy or something.
That's definitely something new that we should look into. Because
I'm kind of ashamed of myself for just catching wind of this now after all these years. But you know what? Better late than never. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they write his name on that book, King Charles, with the first. It's interesting because some interesting gematria with that. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, this is something new that we definitely should look more into, especially with that. I mean, really, I was looking at stuff today and making some connections, and I kept getting a bunch of 201s. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing is also connected to John Cena in a weird way because, well, it shouldn't be in a weird way because John Cena is getting ready to have his retirement match, which is like a huge thing.
Is he really, though? I mean, I thought he retired like 4 years ago, came back.
Oh, no, he was just part-time. He wasn't like fully retired, but this is supposedly supposed to be his. And I think they'll hold it to it because John Cena is supposed to be like, he even said that he's not coming back. Like, and they're making a big deal out of it because they're saying this is the last time is now, right? And it's because there's something really big aligning with the end of this year going into 2026. Like, all signs point to the end of something and the beginning of something new. So that's why they're doing this now. And what I found today proves it with John Cena. I can't believe I missed this whole time. But like December 7th is looking like an absolutely huge freaking day. And I already had a bunch of stuff. Remember, the United States turns 9/11/01 days old that day. Right? On September or on December 7th.
12/7, the 31st prime, 31 the 11th, right? Ties back to Charlie, ties back to 9/11, right? So,
well, yeah, but think about it. If the United States turns 9/11/01 on 12/7, right? The buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell on 9/11/01.
And 9/11/01 became known as the new Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, and that's the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. That in itself is huge. That in itself is huge.
That is unbelievable, dude. Like,
but wait till you see this. Chills. Wait till you hear this. And I have a bunch of stuff on this date, but I'm just going to give you the John Cena connection that absolutely blows it out of the water.
Yeah, let's close it out there.
John Cena is like first of all, his whole character has been about military. He gives a salute. His symbol, if you look up the John Cena symbol, it's the salute. It's all about American. He's always gone and gave to the troops. He's about hustle, loyalty, and respect. His whole career. He's really American in his theme, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. Let's see. John Cena salute. Yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so Right. Yeah. And look at the colors. I mean, he didn't always wear the red, white, and blue, but a lot of times he did have the red, white, and blue. I used to have that shirt actually, the black one with the Rise Above Hate on it. I
Oh,
used to
this
have
one?
that when I was younger. I had that shirt. But yeah, you can see that there's this military American theme, right? And his final match is going to take place one day before George Washington's death anniversary in DC.
Oh, okay.
But that's not the main point. We're actually going to rewind because his retirement match is on the 13th of. It's actually on Taylor Swift's birthday.
What's it?
Um,
Is there a name
but
for it? Like,
it's on. I don't think. I think it's just the John Cena retirement match. That's.
I know
I
they
think
always
that's
have some funny
probably the
names
best
for
way to
it.
get it to come up.
December 13th. Yeah. In
It's in the
Capitol.
Washington Capitals building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Look, they even have him saluting right here.
Right. And look, the speculation is that his final opponent will be Gunther. Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gunther, who's Gunther? Gunther is the Austrian, the Nazi.
Okay.
His whole character is really based off of Adolf, Mr. Adolf. He's Austrian like Adolf was. And he's the ring general, the general. Now, but here's the point. That's going to be on the 13th, right, in DC. But if you rewind 6 days to this day we just talked about, December 7th, which is 9/11/01 days after the United States was founded. Mm-hmm. Now, if you measure John Cena's age on that same day where the United States turns 9/11/01, it's absolutely, if you really think about it, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Considering his retirement match is going to be a few days later in DC, and his character. Let me just pull it up so people can see it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to share this yet, but people are getting a sneak peek on your show.
I appreciate you dropping gems. You know, not nearly as many people are watching my page as yours, so I appreciate any little gems you can drop in here.
Because I think this is like absolutely, in my opinion, this is one of the biggest sinks I can ever think to find. And considering what we already just said about the 9/11/01.
Yeah. And while you're pulling that up, this is going to once again sound like a stupid question because I don't follow wrestling. But you were saying that it might be Gunther, so they don't announce like who he's going to be fighting, or is it like he's going to show up in the ring and nobody still knows, and then so and so is going to come out,
no,
or is it like they announce it right before?
No, we'll know before, like probably not until at least a few weeks before, probably.
Okay, got it.
But it usually when these theories come on about wrestling, they're usually right. They're usually right. They're not normally off because they don't really care. It's all scripted anyways. But so here is how old John Cena will be on the day the U.S. turns 9/11/01, when the U.S. was founded in what year?
Oh my God. Whoa. Okay.
I mean, do you guys understand what you're looking at here?
Yeah, so to clarify, this is John Cena's birthday back in 1977, another big connection to September 11th.
Now, yeah, that, but think about this too. This is why the Blue Jays are involved, because the Blue Jays were founded 17 days before John Cena was born. They played their first game 17 days before John Cena was born.
Toronto Blue Jays equals 59, the 17th prime.
Yeah, but that's even bigger. I know you don't know wrestling, but as soon as I say 17 and John Cena, a wrestling fan will be like, oh, wait. You know how many championships John Cena has, right?
I'm guessing 16?
No, 17.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought maybe he would get his 17th. Like, I don't know. Is this
no, he got his 17th
versus...
this year. He got his 17th this year, one day before Pope Francis died at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier this year, he beat Cody Rhodes on Hitler's birthday. He beat the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He beat on Hitler's birthday one day before Pope Francis died. He got his 17th championship. not only was it his 17th championship, it was because of that. That was the most all time. He beat Ric Flair, who was tied with Ric Flair for 16. The reason it was such a big deal is because Ric Flair had 16, and that was the match that he became the 17, the all-time great, the GOAT, essentially, because he has now 17 championships. So think about it. The Blue Jays just started their championship run, and they played their first game 17 days before the 17-time champ John Cena in the same year. And that means that the Blue Jays are also going to turn. And who's the guy who was the star today? It was number 47. When did the Blue Jays play their first game? 4-7.
April 7th, 1977?
Yeah, and look how old the Blue Jays are going to be on December 7th, bro. So this is the same day that John Cena, that's the same day that John Cena is going to be what I just showed you before. But here, this is pretty much like 1776, okay? Like, it's just you have an extra 7. But
yeah,
you might as well read it like that but the Blue Jays are also going to turn, and look when they're going to turn 1776, exactly. That's going to be on November 20th or 21st, but November 21st. So you see how this is aligning. So 17 days later, John Cena, or it will be December 7th, which is the day we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's, dude.
And how many days will Trump be in office that day? 322 days.
This is too much, dude.
And also, I want you to think about the year 1977, when John Cena was born, when the Blue Jays played their first game. And remember, when the Blue Jays advanced, they beat the Seattle Mariners. And what year was the Seattle Mariners founded? 1977. So both teams in the AL were founded in 77, like John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but 1977 is a 1776. If you just rearrange the numbers and you flip the 6 and the 9, what do you get?
Yep. Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that approach. I just don't do it very often.
I think in this case, it's relevant because
it's very fitting. Yeah.
I mean, in this case, we're talking about, and don't forget, this year is actually huge because this is the year that Elvis died, the king. And the year 1977, Jurassic Liars is always talking about that year because that's the year Elvis died, right? So all I'm saying is, I hope that people that are in the chat even right now are as mind blown as they should be about what I just shared. I don't know if it's registered yet, but for me, it registered. And I was like, are you kidding me that John Cena is going to be 1776? And then if you go 6 days later to his retirement match, what in D.C., 1 day before Washington's death date, George Washington, John Cena will be 17766. So it's the same number still. It looks like the year 1776 still, even on his retirement match. So I'm just telling you, something big could happen that day, or we just get some. Now, this is possibly one of the biggest days I've ever seen line up by the numbers, because what I just showed you there is only like a part of it. I just told you Trump's going to be 322 days in office, but there's like a whole nother list of things I have that are perfectly aligned with that day, which would blow my mind if we don't get something on that day, or at least in those days between that day and his retirement match, somewhere in that time. And the goal would be to see what happens with Gunther and see if that's going to be his opponent, because this would, in my opinion, be like the death of freedom in America. And they're already depicting Trump to be this dictator already. So I think it's kind of like America going towards this Christian Reich, or this new Reich that Trump's essentially leading. And that's why Hitler's involved. That's why Gunther's involved. That's why the America thing is connected, because America's about ready to get a makeover and become a dictatorship in a way. So, and that's already been brewing with Trump, right? So, and the Blue Jays, why would Canada be involved? Because Canada right now is fighting against Trump on the tariffs. And when did Trump declare the tariffs this year? The tariffs on 4/7, right? That's the first that was the anniversary of the Blue Jays' first game on 4/7. So, and in Mark Carney, the president of Canada, just came out and said, we're going to stop trying to trade with the United States. And there was even this thing that Trump said he's going to quit talks with Canada because of this post that they made about Ronald Reagan and how tariffs are bad for things, right? So there's already, like, right now going on this fight between Canada and the United States. That's why I think Toronto's involved. But yeah, I mean, it's all pointing to this like new this new Hitler. Like, that's really what I'm seeing. Like, it's like Trump's turning really into this new.
Well,
so yeah, I mean,
yeah, dude. I'm guessing you said that you got a lot that you're going to be having prepared leading up to that date for sure. You've already been talking about it for a bit. Not just I'm saying right now. I'm saying I remember you the last time talking about that 9/11/01 days connected back to.
Well, I sent you a whole list of it like a few weeks ago in the Discord, right? I sent you a whole list of like crazy connections that all perfectly line. But I didn't even have this John Cena connection, which just brings it all together, because this is exactly why they're having John Cena retire right now, right when he's, supposed to be.
Yeah. How old is he again right now? Do you know offhand?
He's 48.
48. Okay.
So the Blue Jays are 48 right now too from their first game, but that's why it's interesting too.
He's in his 49th year of life, right? Blue Jays also, I believe, equals 49, just like Kirk, just like America, right?
Yeah, but that 48 is, well, it's actually a really big number too, because Donald Trump equals 48 in multiple ciphers, but the 48 is would be the next president. So that's why I think they keep paying tribute to the 48, because remember, December 7th is actually 127 days after JD Vance's birthday, which is the day the declaration of, or what was it? August 2nd. His birthday is the day of the declaration, something like that. I'm tired, but the fact that it also aligns with JD Vance so well is pretty crazy. So I'm just wondering, I mean, and also that's the kill date. December 7th is the
this
kill
year?
date.
Oh, yeah. Man.
And it's 322 days after Trump's inauguration. And then I just tell you, and 9/11/01. Yeah. Oh, somebody says in the chat, John Cena's wife is Canadian. I didn't even think about that.
His wife's name's Carol. I noticed. I thought that was funny, just because of all the Carol Charles connections that you've been on for a while.
His wife's name is Carol?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
No. Oh, sorry, not his wife. His mother. But either way.
Mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to misspeak there.
Also, another interesting thing that I just realized that might be interesting in regards to this Super Bowl stuff. John Cena starred in this TV show called Peacemaker, and Trump is trying to be the peacemaker right now. And one of the episodes is called Better Goff Dead.
Really?
It has Jared Goff's name in it, like spelled exactly like Jared Goff's name, and it's Better Goff Dead. I'm like, wait, come on. There's got to be. That's crazy, right? Because, I mean, what's that even mean? It's like a play on words of something, but I don't know why they would throw Goff in there. So I got to look into that, but that could be another clue for the Lions.
Heartflame says, too, that December 7th was in Mortal Kombat, if you were ever a Mortal Kombat fan. I liked playing the game. I didn't really follow the movies, but...
How is it in Mortal Kombat, though? I'm sure
if you watch the movies, they're there's some sort of emphasis on December 7th. That's my assumption, Heart Flames. So if you wanted to add a little more context there, but I do need to wrap it up myself. It's getting late over here, and there's some thunder and, believe it or not, thunder and lightning going down right now, and Cooper is freaking out. So got to give him a little love. But the last thing I was going to say here, don't forget about, I'm pretty sure it was this year. Before I do that, Heart Flames clarified in the movie, or in the movies, there was a letter. What does it say? Was a letter on locker. In the movies was a letter on locker. Okay. But was this year when Cena did the whole came out naked and stuff? I would be curious, like if you went back and looked at the date when all this happened, because that was a big deal. Like I not necessarily tying it directly to like all the 9/11 stuff, but it just so happens to fall 1 or 6 days prior to his retirement. I would just be curious if there was some kind of gnarly synchronicity there.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a good thanks for reminding me of that. Because I was just gonna go, because now that I found this Cena thing, I have to go do a whole deep dive on John Cena in general. And you know what's funny? I've done so much deep diving on Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, but John Cena, I haven't done as much. So I need to go back through all of his career and see what I can find, and also all his movies. He's got so much stuff to look into, though. Like he's got movies and shows.
So much stuff, dude. He was in the Barbie movie. Like it's like, what the heck?
Yeah. So, like, that's what I was kind of starting on today. But I'm just glad I was able to give the people who are dedicated late night watchers the kind of like the main point, the blowing, mind blowing stuff tonight. So.
You know, I love the night owls, man. That's typically when I'm able to jump on, and I know it doesn't do myself any favors for viewers usually because it's so late for people, but I really do appreciate you carving out a little time to just come hang out for a little bit, talk more about this Charlie Kirk stuff. And my goodness, yeah, to your point, I'll do what I can to help. I mean, I'm worth nothing when it comes to the wrestling stuff, but yeah, reminding you of this whole thing. What was it when was this the Oscars or something? Academy Awards, maybe?
Yeah, it's the 20. I just looked it up. It's the 2024. Oh my goodness, it was on Bad Bunny's birthday.
Oh, geez, dude. Here we go. Here we go. So let's just end it there, dude, because I could go all night, honestly, if we wanted to just have a powwow here. But yeah. So I feel like this was one of the bigger things because like this caught the eyes of a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just it was on Bad Bunny's birthday, man.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Ah, shoot.
Of course.
Okay. Anyways, man, I gotta go. So
yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate it, brother. Always good chatting with you, catching up with you. You'll be good. I know you got some things coming up soon here at the end of the month. You're still good for Tuesday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Well, everybody have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us on a late Friday night. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you, everyone.
Take care of yourselves.